Here we are then, back for another episode of the Aston Martin Road to Glory. This is our home Grand Prix at Silverstone, the British Grand Prix of course. First of all though, if you haven't seen the last episode, go check it out guys, link in the top right. Definitely worth watching it, and also spoilers are ahead, so go check it out and then come back to this one. But yeah, we're going to jump into things here today because this is a race which I'm hoping will go well for us, because last year we struggled here and I want to always try and do well on home soil. Now we've got quite a bit of a window, 10 days until the next race does come around, Silverstone. So in that time I'm actually going to do some upgrades and we're going to work on durability, especially those components that we only have two of available, which are the energy store and the control electronics. I'm still going to try and do a few more of these, especially those parts that we had failures on earlier in the season, but besides that, we're done for upgrades for this race. We also have a very rare chassis department event, which basically we had to decide to either trust, the lead guy in the department or go with what I feel is the right choice. And obviously this will have a knock-on effect, hopefully in the next episode when we find out exactly what comes from this in terms of, reward or maybe loss, morale, R&D points, acclaim, who knows. Either way, jumping into the weekend then, as you can see we have rain for qualifying, quite a fair bit, especially towards the end, which could be pretty spicy. The bad news this weekend, we don't have any upgrades on our car and we've dropped a second from last. We've had a bit of a rough time the last couple of races. Has bring a pretty big upgrade package, Ferrari as well, and also Alpine. So yeah, we're just kind of struggling at the moment. We had a decent race last race, got a third place, that podium finish, really good race. The car's been excellent, and to be fair, 2 podiums in the last 3, which is mental. But as you can see, we still have that aero upgrade for the DRS arriving, so fingers crossed we should have all 3 of those upgrades on the car for the next race, and hopefully we can add some more to it and keep things rolling. Anyway, after practice, everything went really smooth. The car felt great to drive. We had very good pace in practice. I didn't have to use any battery, which is usually what I use to help get the programs done. Tyre wear was a little bit high, fuel burn quite actually decent, better than I thought, and we actually scored a pretty big haul of points after that session. We also got a hell of a lot of discounts after buying those 2 durability upgrades that unlocked a load of extra ones, and we can now do some extra productive discounts and upgrades, and we'll look into that in the next couple of races. For now though, qualifying time, and you saw before, we have rain forecast. When is it going to arrive? Who knows? It's currently overcast. Now, we'll see exactly when that happens. For now, though, we're going to jump into the session. Now, as soon as it started, I went into the monitor and it said rain in 5. So I quickly got my setup adjusted, made the tweaks for qualifying. And we're also going to go a little bit higher on the wing, as I felt like I was very fast on the straight, but not fast enough in the corner. And we went straight out of the garage. And we're the 3rd car out on track out of everyone that's gone out so far. We're going to quickly get a weather update to see exactly
dry seem like the best tyre for now.
When the rain is going to arrive, and that message means the rain is pretty much inbound, and literally not even 10 seconds after it's already raining. There's rain on the car, so this is good. We've left the pit straight away. We've got no traffic, we've got a nice early lap in, and we're going to get decent track conditions. Admittedly, the lap itself was actually pretty crap. I didn't really hit any apexes. I struggled to really commit. I could feel a bit of a grip loss in the rain falling, and this is where the AI become really strong because they have no deficiencies and they have traction. So in these kind of wishy-washy conditions, the AI are super strong, and I'm really poor. So we put in an absolute shocker. Nowhere near another car. I tried to go for a second push and I invalidated, so that's going to be the end of it, and it's now up to the gods. And luckily for us, we got lucky. The rain fell and a lot of cars got caught out, including Lance, who is at the bottom, which is disappointing to see. Verstappen also got caught out. Both McLarens also got caught out, and yeah, we're going to get into Q2. So a sigh of relief because it wasn't a great lap, but luckily for us, the heavens opened at the right time and we got lucky. So now we're going to go into Q2, where again we're going to see exactly what the weather has in store. Currently, it's raining, but it's dry, and you can see actually it's barely, if not actually raining anymore. It's very light. So, first lap, I was shocked. 1.5 seconds off Albon, and once I'd done that lap, I knew I had no chance, absolutely no chance of touching the AI around here, laying a glove on them in terms of pace in these conditions. They were just way too strong for me. So I tried to improve. We found half a second, 6/10. We kept on pushing, I was finding time, but there was no way in hell I was ever going to find another like 7-8 tenths, and this kind of put the nail in the coffin. So with, you know, a few minutes to go, I made the call to try and go on a dry tyre, because it was drying, the rain has stopped, and it's one of them ones where it's arriving at the crossover point. So I thought I'd take a gamble. I left it to the very last minute to go out, and the track just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. I took the risk and it backfired. I kept on pushing. I tried to get a lap in, which wasn't too bad, but yeah, you can see we're 5 seconds down and we're just not really improving, and the track hasn't really come through at the last seconds. I was hoping maybe for sector 3 it would be fully dry, but it didn't really happen, because all you need is one sector. If you get one fully dry sector, you can gain like 6-7 seconds, but it wasn't to be. And yeah, I had no chance in these intermediate conditions. As you can see, I was nowhere near. I wasn't even in the same postcode as the AI. So I thought it was worth a gamble on dries, and neither of the two worked. So yeah, I was kind of restricted, really. I had nowhere to go in these situations, really, in these conditions, and we're out in P15. The big surprise, Russell and Perez out with us, which was a big shock. And I believe Perez didn't go back out, but Russell did and got knocked out. So yeah, big surprise. Either way, guys, we're done for qualifying. All of our rivals are into Q3, which is devastating, but it's a long race, and you never know, we could just fight back.
We return once again then to the home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and an average lap speed of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Ocon, Kevin Magnussen and Mick Schumacher, Gasly, Vettel, Albon and Valtteri Bottas, Tsunoda, Zhou, George Russell and Perez, Martinez, Norris, Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen, Latifi. Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you here with us today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
I'm not going to lie, we are in a bit of trouble here, I feel like. I don't think we have great pace. I think we're set to struggle. We had a bit of a bad time here last year, and I don't think much has really changed. I could be wrong, but we're starting 15th. Now, that's better than our recent qualifyings, but I'm not sure if the race pace is going to be as strong as some of those races. Either way, we're going to give it our best shot and, never give up and just basically try our best. If we get a good start, gain a few places on the first lap and sit around P11, P12, that maybe could give us a chance to get something out of this, but it's not going to be easy. So, strategy for this one is going to be a medium to hard tyre strategy. Very simple one stop. We have the option to possibly extend a little bit if necessary. Fuel-wise, I'm going for 0.8 extra. I can't remember if fuel consumption is really high or really low here, so I'm going to go on the safer side just to be sure. But yeah, the key thing here is hopefully having a good first lap. If I can get in a couple of places, that would really help to put the race in a good position for us to really push on, and then hopefully we have some decent pace. We can stay in the DRS, which is the main thing, and then around the pit stop phase start to make some things happen. So yeah guys, prediction down below as always in the comments, and let's get into the action and let's see what we can do. I'll comment one thing, but the grid is basically inverted. Besides the front three, all the slower cars are in front and the faster ones are all where we are, so that's going to make it interesting in itself, let alone the fact that the faster cars have chosen soft tyres. This could be a tough but interesting race, but we're probably going to get destroyed in this first opening phase. But anyway, that aside, Let's get to the action, shall we? Let's rev her up. Oh, it's not a good start. Perez actually gets a flyer. Paul gets away, just slow reaction, and a bog down. Let's just try to see if we can recover as we head down to 3. Any other car would have gone for the lunge, but because it's Verstappen, he's going to be way quicker than us, so there's really no point. I'll try this though. This is going to cost us no time, but it means we get ahead of Ricciardo, which was nice. Getting a stupid warning there, just being very careless. You can already see the straight line speed looks good. Just using a bit of battery, which is nice, so it will be hard to pass on the straight. But are we strong enough in the corners? That's the real question. Just got to be patient this race because the soft runners will, carve their way back through, and that's going to cause a lot of, chain reaction, kind of domino effect, falling down through the field when they have those battles inevitably. So we just have to be ready for when things start to happen. Stroll gets a move going on Ricciardo into the S section. But yeah, just going to play the long game here, especially after lap 3 once the battery use comes to an end for the AI. Verstappen going for the move, or trying to go for the move there on Zhou into the S. That was a very unorthodox place to pass. But DRS will now be enabled, so we'll see how that starts to affect things. Out front, we've got the front 3 breaking away, as you'd expect in fast cars. And we have a Haas, or a couple of Haas cars actually in P4, P5, which is bad news for us in the constructors, but like I said, it's a long race. Faster traffic has to fight back through, so things will happen.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
It's kicking off up ahead. I was tempted to go for the pass on Max there, just because I might be able to get the pass on Zhou and Sonoda. Ricciardo on the inside again there, looking for an overtake. I'm waiting for Max to pull the trigger, which could be now, and we'll try to get Zhou. You can see it's kicking off like crazy. This is what's going to happen this race because of the fast traffic basically making its way through. There we go, Zhou has a moment. He's got a slightly clipped end plate as well, a bit damaged, so we go through. And that's what we have to do this race. We have to use the IQ points as we've got more action up ahead. Verstappen's going to get involved. Sonoda there on the medium. Bottas as well, just to be careful. Important to try and get the exit here if we can. We've got the straight line speed, so we know we can do some damage. Here we go. I'm just going to go for all of it. I want to get all 3 of them. And then we'll let Max get back past later on. But there we go. Exactly what we need to be doing. Efficient, intelligent, racing and overtaking. Right, so Max got through on Bottas. He's going to breeze past me here, so I won't put up too much of a fight. I'd rather get the DRS on Verstappen, so again, let's try and be smart. I see a couple of Williams cars up ahead, so they're going to be the next target in this one. I'm not going to lie, this strategy of following Verstappen is working beautifully. Straight line speed is very, very good. Keeping us right in the fight, right in the mix, and we're keeping up just about with the faster traffic on soft tyres. We're also keeping cars behind out of DRS, so this is going very well, and we're catching the slow traffic. So this race is not over yet, and it's starting to open up. Actually, liking where this is going. I think we've got a chance to maybe do something in this one, but I'm growing in confidence, which is the main thing. Perez overtaking both Williams on this lap. Lando's a bit of a cork in the bottle. He doesn't quite have the pace to get the Williams, which they both have pretty good straight line speed. We're kicking off now through here. You can see we just have to stay in contact. We're pulling away from the cars behind, so that's ideal. Let's see if we can get the Williams here. I may try and pass both these guys actually. I feel like it might be worth it. Lando goes through on Seb. Verstappen tries to follow. And we'll just slide it in through the gap. Slight bit of contact there with Max, but that's okay. Right, so that's a Williams out of the way. Lovely stuff. Right, let's keep it going. This plan is working pretty efficiently, although we pick up another warning. That's a bit of an issue, a bit of a concern now. Right, Verstappen looking for the pass on Norris. Norris is a bit of an issue. He just doesn't have the straight line speed to really challenge the Williams cars. As I'm really struggling through that corner for traction. Leclerc's in the pits, which is an early-ish stop, but still I'd say within region of a one-stopper. He went into the hard tyre we just saw. So again, we might see some of these soft runners start to bail now on their strategy, which would mark our time to then start to really push and use up the battery in the reserves. Okay, Verstappen pits. Now this could be interesting. No other cars in the pit lane. The Haas cars right now are battling with an AlphaTauri.
Approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Perez has also caught up to them, and there's also a Mercedes in there as well. Oh, there we go. Lando going for the pass, although he's probably going to pit, I'm assuming, as he does. First now gives us a look at Albon. Not sure if I'll pass him through here. I'm just not strong enough through this corner to be close enough to have a look at the turn 3. But more cars in, so we're up to P8. I'm just debating what tire to go for. Could we maybe put on a soft tire? If I can just get the exit. Not bad, but Albon gets off really well off the corner. I think we've got what it takes though to get by. Yes, we can. Even against the Williams, look at that. That is incredible. Absolute cheat code in a straight. Right, we've now got to use all the battery. We've got Gasly, Russell on both Haas cars just up the road. If I can somehow get in within a second, we're in the race. Well, that's not going to help. I just hate that corner so much. We are so poor.
We're going to box this lap and push hard on the in-lap.
Okay. Magnussen hits. So we're getting some action. Gasly pits with him. Russell, Schumacher stay out. We'll go a little bit longer. I feel like I've got a bit of pace to burn. And the car's working well, so P4 for now. Schumacher stays out another lap. Russell in the pits. So Haas going long with Mick. Sainz also pits. We'll look to pit this lap probably.
Lance is in for his stop.
Let's try and squeeze out one more decent lap. Schumacher lost a lot of time with Russell. They both battled side by side through the S section of Maggotts and Beckett's, and they've lost a lot of time, so let's try and have one more big lap here. Even though the tyre indicator's on, let's try and squeeze it out. I'm going to request a little bit more front wing. I'm going to go 19 on the front. I feel like I need a bit more front end. We're going to go for the hard tyre. Play it safe. I can push flat out on that compound. We've gained on Mick on this in lap, so that's ideal. We nail the pit entry for good measure. Just got to try and get ourselves in that battle with the Haas cars, man. I can see them on the mini-up now heading through the S section, and there's a lot of cars there, to be fair. Gasly at the front of it, currently. That's a pretty busy, bit of traffic there. I think we can rejoin in the thick of it if we have a smooth stop, but this has to be perfect. New pit stop equipment. Oh, I missed my pull away. Still, it was a good stop, 2.2. They're only going through the final corner now. We're going to really struggle on cold tyres, but we could be close enough here. Let's find out. Let's see exactly where we are.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Could have maybe gained half a second there if I'd not missed my pull away, but that's not terrible. We've got a bit more wing on the car. Ricardo will be a lot faster than us, so I might actually let him go just for the sake of keeping this train intact and latching onto the cars ahead. Come on, Daniel. Let's see what you got, mate. Show us the pace. Stay ahead of Albon, which matters. That's the important one. But let's let Ricardo pull us a little bit here and see what kind of pace he's got until we warm the tyres enough. And then we'll try to close in ourselves. But definitely closer though. Okay, the car feels pretty good, to be fair. That little adjustment on the front wing has made a big difference. I've got a way more turn in. I was struggling a bit with front understeer and having the nose really commit. Now the car feels a bit more pointy, and I don't feel like I've lost the back end or I've got a load of oversteer, so that was a good decision to make. And we're closing in now up ahead, which is great. So things are going to start to happen. We've got to be ready. Now this is crucial. As you can see ahead of us, we've got Ricciardo on mediums, and then we've got both Haas cars and Pierre Gasly on hard. So all three of those hard tyre runners we have to pass for us to get points today. So we'll start to now look to make some moves in a bit. We're going to try and see if I can recharge the batteries a bit. The faster traffic has now gone, so this is now our race, and the best we can probably get is P9. Let's try and get Daniel here. He's got DRS, but it doesn't matter. The McLaren isn't that fast on the straight. Not today anyway. Daniel's still there. Got to leave room. That's fair. But we'll nail it around the outside and get that one done. Just got to make sure we stay in front and also keep the DRS on the cars ahead. Lovely, perfect turn one. Right, now we've got some more, I'd say easier traffic to pass. I mean, Ricciardo's mediums will start to fade anyway, but now we're all on the same tyre compound. Tyre wear is excellent. Also, it helps that we went a bit longer. Gonna have fresher tyres than everybody else, especially at the end. Engine wear icon has also just popped up. Just trying to be careful. Again, we're still on 2 warnings, so just trying to be mindful of that. You can see that the gearbox and the control electronics starting to wear out. Okay, nice and close through there. If I can get the exit. Bit of contact, that just ruined my momentum. Magnussen, they're losing the back end. I think I'm not close enough because of that. Feels like Magnussen's just starting to struggle now. Let's see if we can do this. He's not going to have DRS this lap, and he's visibly struggling. I wonder if he's...
Okay, some information on Gasly. They seem to have an issue.
I was going to say Magnussen, but Gasly pulls over. That's mechanical, so we get the pair of them. But I wonder if K-Mag had wing damage with that battle with Pierre, possibly. He had a slight moment into the chicane on the last lap, but that moves us into the points. But important now to get after Schumacher. Magnussen pit, so definitely some damage there for him. So something did happen. Right, let's try and get Schumacher. He's opened up a bit of a gap here, to be fair, so gotta get back to it. Another yellow. Zhou out the race. A couple of quick retirements. That was an excellent lap. Only a 10th off the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, by the way, in clean air. The car feels way better in clean air, to be fair. Didn't quite drop Ricciardo. He's still keeping on that medium, still hanging in there, but we're catching Schumacher. At this rate, we'll get it back within DRS for next lap.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
I think I'm a bit too far back here. Schumacher with a moment. We'll try to get the pass whenever possible. First chance I get, I'm just going to go for it. I've got the pace to pass and also, I think, pull away. So we'll look to get him. We pretty much match our personal best on that lap. This is where we're strong. Turns 1, 2, 3 and 4. Mick with a moment there. Power down. I think I might just be close enough here. Give me that. Straight through. Purple sector 1. Right, let's drive off into the sunset. Let's lock this up. Schumacher there, trying to go around the outside. To be fair, he's got the pressure on, he's right there. We're going to have to defend, but you can see the straight down speed is very strong with our car. Just going to keep it nice and tight, keep it on the inside. Don't even give Mick a chance to go through. And there we go. Verstappen takes the fastest lap. And we're going to come through for a phenomenal P9. Very happy with that. That's the best we could have done today. And that is what I'm talking about.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Here we are then, a fantastic British Grand Prix, and what a performance it was from our race winners today. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit, familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
So there we go then, guys. A very good day in the office at Silverstone, picking up a couple of points, and that's exactly what we needed. So, Ferrari 1-2, very quick, very, very convincing, although not dominant because they basically started at the front. Red Bull are stronger, and that was proven by Sergio Perez recovering, and also Verstappen getting the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Ocon, P4, that's the only issue today. The Alpine scored pretty big points with him, so they're going to pick up 10 points over us, which isn't ideal, but it is what it is. We look at Hamilton and Russell, P5, P6, then, of course, Max and Lando. We finish in 9th, and then Schumacher scores a point for Haas, rounding out the top 10. So, not a bad day in the office, all things considered, as AlphaTauri scored no points, Lance down to P19, and Zhou a DNF in that one. So let's look at the standings, because that's always going to help give us an idea. So Hamilton re-overtakes us, as you'd expect, to be honest with you. Ocon up to 9th with that points finish, and we're currently still 19 points ahead of Ocon, 20 ahead of Ricciardo, but that gap could change very quickly because of the cars they have. Leclerc, your new championship leader, with that W here today. In the Constructors, Ferrari back on top over Red Bull with that result, and we currently hold 5th, but Alpine cut the deficit as they're 4 behind and overtake Haas in the process. So, yeah guys, that's it for today's action at Silverstone. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Very good race, very fun race, very intelligent race as well, trying to make the moves at the right time. And yeah guys, I'll see you in the next one. As always, leave a like and subscribe for more daily F1 content. A big shout out to the members for supporting the channel, and check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. But guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, and it's goodbye from me.